Good morning, I'm Duncan. You're watching Wake Up Well. It's the 20th of April. We're continuing our series in Proverbs and we're in chapter 20 today. And I'm just going to pick out verse 6. Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find? You know, it's scarily easy, isn't it, to elevate ourselves and make all kinds of statements and boasts through the words that we speak. For example, as we see here in this proverb, it's pretty easy to say to someone that you love them. But actually, it's something else entirely to be consistent and faithful in loving that person with our actions. The thing we need to recognize is that the ability to consistently act in a particular way is almost impossible when it's not a genuine reflection of our heart. In Luke chapter 6, Jesus says, a good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and conversely, an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. Yeah, of course, we can put on a show for a while, but when push really comes to shove, the reality of what's in our heart ends up coming out and it's reflected in what we do. Now, don't get me wrong, words are incredibly important and powerful. You know, they have the power to bring life and death. But words apart from action are cheap. You know, the old adage really is true. Actions do speak louder than words. Jesus once told a parable. He said a father had two sons, and he goes to the first son and says, "Hey son, go out into the vineyard and work today for me." And the son says, "No, I'm not going to do that." But then he goes away, he thinks about it, and he changes his mind and he goes and works in the vineyard. The father then goes to the second son and he says the same. The second son replies, "Okay, yeah, I will." But actually he ends up not going. Jesus then, having told the story, asks his hearers, well, which son did what his father wanted? And of course we know the answer is the first son. When all is said and done, what we do speaks louder than what we claim. Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find? You know, as I reflect on this proverb today, I feel challenged in two ways. First of all, am I overly quick to make promises without considering whether or not I can actually keep them? I want to be a man of my word. I hope you do too, and I'm discovering it's far better to under-promise and over-deliver than the other way around. And secondly, where my actions don't match the words that I want to be able to say, I want to be able to say that I am one who loves and is faithful and is generous, who's kind. When my actions don't match those words, rather than simply trying harder, I've learned that I need a transformed heart. And whilst I know that God alone can do that, I can make choices that position me well for God to do that. You know, Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. In other words, what we choose to invest in is what we find ourselves becoming entangled with and becoming like. So today, be considered in making big promises. Don't speak out too quick. And secondly, choose to invest in the things of God today that He might transform your heart to look like His, so your actions flow out of having a good heart.